Matt Chapman was left out of MLB Network's top 10 third baseman. Names like Justin Turner, Max Muncy, and Yandy Diaz were way ahead of him. Are they forgetting there's a team that plays north of the border? Next up, the Jays have been linked to Matt Moore, and finally, Toronto has a single top 100 prospect, according to Baseball America. So we'll have that and much more in this episode of Jays Digest. What's up, Jays fans? I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, alongside host Nick Gosse. We want to thank you all for the support that we've gotten in the new year. It's been unreal. We got a lot to break down today, a lot of spicy news, a lot of Jays getting disrespected, so we'll dive right into it.
Yeah, road to 6K subscribers, make sure to hit the subscribe button. But we have another, episode, I guess, of the Blue Jays getting disrespected. But this one is by far the most disrespectful we've seen in a while. So this is Matt Chapman disrespected by being left out of the top 10 third baseman list. And this has we weren't going to cover it, but this has Twitter going crazy. It's trending on Twitter at the time of recording this video in Canada, I believe. It's trending on Twitter. So let's just pop open the screenshot. This is MLB Network. This is the tweet that led to it all. Here's how MLB Now picked their top 10 third basemen. Machado 1, Ramirez 2, Riley 3, Devers, Arenado, Bregman, Turner, Muncy, Diaz, and LeMahieu. That's the top 10, Peter. I'll let you have your thoughts before I pop up a tweet from a Jays writer there, because this was it took Twitter by storm recently, so we had to cover it.
I don't have a problem with the top six. I
Agreed.
think that's fair. Maybe I'd shuffle some guys around. I texted you my order, so mine would be probably Manny Machado. It would be followed by Jose Ramirez, then Nolan Arenado. If you could pop it up one more
Yep.
time for me, Nick. Yeah, so I would go Machado, Ramirez, Arenado. I don't know how he's fifth, but whatever. That's not what this video is focusing on. Then four, I'd keep Rafael Devers over there. Riley at five. Six, I'd keep Bregman over there. And Matt Chapman should be seventh. He should be seventh behind Alex Bregman. And you could even make a case that he's better than Alex Bregman just because of the defense alone. But Bregman is a superstar hitter, multiple World Series winner, so we'll leave him out there. And I don't have a problem with the top six, but the rest of that list is just putrid, man. It's terrible.
Yeah, and I'll pop up this screenshot here. This is from Josh Goldberg. I didn't have the initial tweet. Oh, you actually see right there. Chapman not on this list. The list belongs in the trash can at the bottom. He followed by that up by going with Fangraphs Award, which puts Chapman at 4.1, Turner at 2.4, Muncy at 2.4, Yandy at 3.8, LeMahieu at 3.0. So Goldberg and Arella's people on Twitter agree with you and me, because I agreed with your list, which was also posted in the Discord. If you want to join that, it's in the description. But he agreed that the top six, the top six was perfectly fine. The order, you can obviously juggle it around, but he's not arguing the top six, and we're not either. It's the seventh and below with people like Yandy Diaz, DJ LeMahieu. Chapman's value is just much higher than them, and you can see it here if you want to go based off of WAR. If you want to go based off of the eye test, Chapman, he passes the eye test. He's better than these other players. No disrespect to these other players. And actually, shout out to Yandy Diaz with a 3.8 WAR. I didn't even realize he had that high of a WAR. I knew he was a good player, but I don't know. It was very, very strange, and I wonder if it was just them forgetting about Matt Chapman, or if they consciously put him out of the list.
How can you forget about Matt Chapman? You are paid by MLB Network to know baseball like the back of your hand, and you're leaving arguably one of the greatest defensive third basemen that we've ever seen off a top 10 list while he's in his prime? How does that make any sense? It doesn't. Now, Yandy Diaz, good player. Justin Turner, good hitter. Doesn't really provide much value defensively anymore. Max Muncy, I'll pop up the reference once again. The guy is like he's like a polar bear in Texas. Like, what is he doing there on this list? Like, it just doesn't make sense to have Max Muncy there. And DJ LeMahieu should not even be a third baseman. He just has to play there. Josh Donaldson's an everyday third baseman, and LeMahieu's going to play first. He's going to play a little bit everywhere. He's not necessarily a third baseman. So to put those guys above Matt Chapman, it just does not make sense to me. And they all have their deficiencies. I mean, Matt Chapman has some deficiencies as well, but as an all-around player, he's better than all of those guys that are ahead of him, besides the top six, of course.
Yeah, it's not really close. And like you said, Max Muncy, he's a great player, but he just doesn't belong with these with the other players.
But
on
he's not,
this,
he's
on this
not a
list.
great
And
player.
well,
He's not a great player anymore. He was
and
awful last year.
he's had
How
a
is
great.
this
I don't know.
guy in the top 10?
We'll
Come
uh,
on.
we'll let the comment section discuss that as well. No disrespect to any of the other players. It's not what we're doing here. We're more so questioning the list, which is it was weird, and Peter's fired off about it. But let's move on to the next topic, which is potentially Matt Moore to the Blue Jays. There's a few articles that dropped. I'll be focused on the Sports Illustrated one because it kind of brings some interesting stuff to light. But there was also another post, I believe, an MLB writer saying that it would be a really good fit and link the Jays to him. I don't have that for you, but I do have this, which is from Sports Illustrated, saying why Blue Jays should pursue left-handed Matt Moore. Matt Moore isn't a glorious name, but he'd bring exactly what the Blue Jays need. Glamorous, sorry. So here's what they have to say about him. Moore's in the top tier of bargain free agent additions. Once a staple in the Rays rotation in the early 2010s, 33-year-old reversed some ill fortune, pitching to a 1.95 ERA in 74 innings out of the bullpen. He obviously doesn't blow you away. He has a 94 mile per hour fastball, career high 10.1 Ks. We've talked about him a little bit. We're kind of going through all the players that are left now and getting a bit more of a deep dive. What are your thoughts on Matt Moore compared to someone else, like Andrew Chafin, for example?
He's reliable, and I would prefer Matt Moore because he's more experienced than Andrew Chafin. He's former starter. He's not a starter anymore. Don't know if he can go 5, 6 innings. He hasn't done it in a while. So he's what the Jays need. Another lefty out of the bullpen. Doesn't throw exceptionally hard, but he's got a good mix. Got a couple of different pitches and throws strikes, and that's a big area of emphasis for me coming out of the bullpen. Former pitcher myself, I threw a little bit, and it's the worst when you got guys coming out of the bullpen and they're walking everybody. It just demoralizes your team. And I'd like to see a steady Eddie addition like Matt Moore. I think of all the guys still available in the free agent market, he's the one that I would go after if I were the Blue Jays.
Yeah, and looking at what it would maybe cost to get him, there's obviously a lot of stuff here, but it says in the bottom, based on the market value, Spotrac estimates Moore is worth a 2-year deal, approximately $6.78 million. It's doubtful the Blue Jays will buckle down for 2 years, but a 1-year, $3 million heat check signing carries low risk and high upside. And if we can get Matt Moore for 1 year's $3 million, I would be absolutely over the moon. And you can see up top, it says Arsenal-wise, he's good. His power curve is has a nice wrinkle, but it looks like a four-seamer was a difference maker a year ago. Upped his fastball usage, so he changed something, which contributed to great results. Because obviously in the past, he was always a solid pitcher, but he had a bit of a rough stint before last year. And I'll pop up his baseball reference here. You can kind of see he's had a great career. Obviously, earlier on in his career was phenomenal. Last year, just if you look at the years prior, didn't pitch in 2020, 2021 6 ERA, 2018 almost a 7 ERA, but last year unbelievable in a lot of innings. And when you look at his baseball savant, lots to love, all red, and I don't know, it's exciting. It's very exciting. And do you have any final thoughts on him?
Yeah, and like you said, he's experienced. He's dealt with a lot of injuries in his career as well, so that's probably why he got shifted to the bullpen. But anytime you can get a former Tampa Bay Ray to come pitch for you, those guys just breed pitchers, and it would be perfect for the Toronto Blue Jays. Like I said, he'd be the guy that I go after before anyone else out there on the market.
Yeah, I agree. Let us know if you'd rather him or Andrew Chafin or someone else, but or Alex Reyes because he's also still in the conversation. But free agency has not been moving fast at all in the past however long
Oh,
it's been.
yeah.
Go ahead.
And one more thing about Matt Moore, I was going to touch on the contract situation there. 1 year, 3 million. I don't know if it gets it done, because
Yeah,
you
I
might be
agree.
banking on that 1 year there. So you might have to.
5 million.
I know they said 2 years, like 6 million there. You'd probably have to give him that 6 million for the 1 year there. So that's probably what we're looking at if they're going to go after Matt Moore.
Yeah, and if it was 1 year, 3 million, some team would have already done that. And I don't know. Looking at his baseball spot one last time, obviously great. Walks a little bit of guys, but look at the peripherals. Just everything's pure red and 94 miles per hour average fastball. It's very interesting. Let us know what your thoughts are on that. And let's get into the last topic, which is Tiedemann sees high praise. So I'll let you take over a little bit here. I do have a screenshot from I believe it was a week ago or so, where it was right here. MLB Pipeline has him ranked number 2 on the best left-handed pitching prospect, and they also put Berea at 9 without throwing MLB a minor league pitch, which is kind of crazy. So do you have any thoughts on this, and as well you want to touch on the Baseball America?
Yeah, I haven't seen the full list for Baseball America, but I know that Ricky Tiedemann is ranked 31st in the
Yep.
top 100, which is really nice to see. That means he's very valuable. And in the description for Ricky Tiedemann, they basically said he's as close to a sure thing as a minor league arm could be, which is music to our ears, Nick, because we've been pumping up the Ricky Tiedemann hype train for quite a while now. and I'm excited to see what he can do. If not this year, next year. And Brandon Barriera, I mean, for him to be ninth in the left-handed starters or left-handed pitchers prospect pool, that's it's pretty good praise. It either means that there's no depth in the left-handed pitching prospect pool, or he's just that dude. And I might be leaning towards that dude. I'd like to see what he can do in the minors.
Yeah, I agree. And going off of what you actually said, so within this MLB Pipeline article, they had little tidbits. And like you said, so the highest floor of any of those guys they gave to Ricky Tiedemann, saying Tiedemann has a less track record than Harrison, but a similar devastating arsenal with better control and command at this point. The Blue Jays handled him extremely carefully in his first full pro season, so it remains to be seen how his stuff will hold up with a full workload. But he has the highest floor. He is, like you said, as most of a sure thing as possible. I don't have the screenshot for it, but regarding Berea, he had tied with another prospect in that list for the best control, I believe a 55 graded control or something like that, which is very solid to see, especially because he's obviously hasn't pitched very much at all. Hasn't pitched at all, actually, in the minor league. So it'll be very interesting to see. But Ricky Tiedemann is continuing to soar, and 31st in the top 100 prospect list is very crazy. And we'll be going over the whole prospect list, I'm sure, in a future video, because Gabby Moreno also made an appearance on that list within the top 15. So we'll go over that soon. But do you have any final thoughts on this before I wrap it up?
I'm excited. I'm excited for the prospects that the Jays have. I'm excited to see what Matt Chapman could do at third base and just prove these guys wrong. I'm ready.
Yeah, me too. And again, we weren't really going to cover any more disrespectful articles because sometimes they're just absolutely ridiculous. But this one was too much to, we just saw it all over Twitter and it's trending right now. So I want to wrap that up.
And MLB Network too. It was also MLB
Yeah.
Network. It's not like I think we vetoed MLB Nerds
Yeah,
at
no
this
more.
point because the disrespect there was just unbelievable.
For all teams.
But once it's reputable MLB Network, we got to step in. We got to get in the middle of that.
Yeah, we had to stand up for Chapman. And let us know what your thoughts are on that list again and all the other things we discussed today. And we'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Thank you for support.